thought we would do a video talking about food. Again, I know I'm bringing over a lot of newer players with me, and perhaps there are some other newer players clicking on the video, and I want to make sure that I save you from making some big mistakes. You can make some big mistakes as you go through and feed champs to rank up your monsters. So I want to go ahead and give you the most important rule straight out of the gate, and that is do not use Nat 4s as food until you are so 100% sure about them. Don't use them as food. More important than that rule, if it's a light dark Nat 4, if it's a light or dark Nat 4 and above, absolutely do not use them as food. Unless you are so far in the game and you are wailing out so hard that you've got all these extra copies, that is something that you will worry about way later on. You would not have clicked on this video if you were in that position, okay? So never feed a light dark Nat 4. Never use a light dark Nat 4 as food. That's not a Nat 4, but never do it with a Nat 4 especially. Other Nat 4s that are regular element, still, you need to be very, very careful about using them as food. If you are unsure if they're good, and even if they're not good, go ahead and take a copy of them and put them in your sealed shrine or in your storage and just get them out of the way so that you don't use them as food. Because buffs happen, content changes, discoveries are made, you never know. So even if someone's telling you this monster's not good and they're food, ignore the part about them being food. Just set them aside until later, okay? Until you're so sure. Because even to this day, the game came out in 2014, and you heard the horror stories back then, and you hear them even still today. I had this champ, and I fed them, and then I found out they were good. Don't make that mistake with Nat 4s. I know that you're going to be tempted. You're in a hurry to 6-star the champs you're using. It's very grindy. I understand that. Take my word for it. Don't do it unless you just 100% know, or unless you're going to wail out so hard that it's inevitable that you're going to get more copies. Don't do it. Now, as far as Nat 3s are concerned, it's not a bad idea to follow the same rule with a Nat 3. Keep at least one copy of everyone, just so that you have them if anything ever changes. It's really not a bad idea to keep copies for skill ups, but that's something you can worry about over time. The game's gotten pretty generous with scrolls, I would say, so it's probably not wildly unreasonable that you're going to come up with other copies of regular Nat 3s. Like dark Nat 3s, you kind of want to treat like Nat 4s, because again, they're kind of rare. Light dark scrolls actually still feel really rare, so just light dark monsters get a pass. They go into your storage if you're not going to build them, okay? Otherwise, just be very careful about who you feed, okay? It's crazy that still happens. That's just a thing everyone's gonna do. If you've done it, don't feel bad about it, because again, everyone's done it. I've got my own stories from way back in the day. I fed a dark samurai a long time ago, and then I think a week and a half later, Claytano put out a video of the light samurai, and they're basically the same. There's some subtle differences, I think, but they're basically the same. He put out a video of the light samurai just cleaning up an arena. Amazing arena nuker, and never at an affinity disadvantage. And it was literally like a week or so after I fed mine, and then thankfully a few months later I pulled another one. But still, it's inevitable. It's gonna happen. If you feed a champ, you're gonna find out later they're good at something, okay? So don't do it. Now, as far as making food, let's talk a little bit about just some of the champs you're gonna come across. Anything with a silver star is food. You never have to worry about anything with a silver star being meta, okay? That's not gonna happen. And then any 1-star is also safely food, okay? There are a handful of 2-stars in the game. They've done a very good job of making a lot of really viable 2-stars, even into the late game, okay? So the good news is they're 2-stars. They're very easy to come by. You pop 100 unknown scrolls, you're probably gonna get whoever you're looking for, you know what I mean? And you're gonna get plenty of unknown scrolls. So 2-stars you can use as food. A couple of the standouts early on are the Fire Harpoo is a standout. The Water Garuda is a standout. The Water Howl is a standout. The Wind Pixie is a standout. The I kind of think the Wind Warbear is still a standout, if I'm going to be real with you. I'm a big fan of Ramagos. There's a couple of standouts, but again, it's not the end of the world if you feed them, because you're gonna see them many times in your Summoner's War career. So silver stars, 1 stars, and 2 stars can always be food. Now, depending on how efficient you want to be, it's totally your call. You could level up 1 stars and rank them into 2 stars, and then level those up and turn them into 3 stars. I tend to just feed 1-star monsters into other food. I start at 2 stars, so I will run Phaemon. That's going to be your level up location for a while, and we're actually running a repeat battle right now. Phaemon is your level up location, so that's why the Water Magic Knight is who they give you very early in the game, because she can farm Phaemon Hill with about 95% success, I would say. Maybe even higher than that, maybe like 97, 98, with the gear that they give you for her once she's 6-starred. So go ahead and 6-star her pretty early on. I think the game guides you through doing that anyway. And I just run my food in here, and then we come in and we sell our runes, so we're not hurting for mana, really. And I'm using these as food because I spend a decent amount of money, and I'm a little bit more familiar with who I want to work on right now and who I don't. So I'm using 3 stars as food, and again, if you've got a lot of copies of one, you can go ahead and do that if you're in a hurry to get your core teams built. Again, you just have to be really careful about it, because there's some kind of premium 3 stars, you know what I mean? So that's too much to go over in one video. Make sure you keep a copy of everyone 3-star and above. That's basically the rule of thumb, okay? So what I've done is I'm working on food, and that's what you're doing. You're just bringing food up. So I'm gonna bring these 2 stars up. I'm gonna turn them into 3 stars. I'm gonna bring them up, turn them into 4 stars, and then I'm gonna bring them up and turn them into 5 stars. And that's the process over and over and over. And when you start to get low on food, pop unknown scrolls. It's really not a bad idea to make a habit of purchasing any 2 stars that you see in the shop. You'll see 2 stars and unknown scrolls. Sometimes you'll see mysticals. I've seen quite a few legendary pieces and summoning stones, a lot, and also decent runes. I've bought quite a few decent 6-star runes from here. So it's not a bad idea. Check your shop. I'll show you what a fresh shop looks like. So like here, we've got some 2-star champs, and that's going to be nice for food. You're also going to get champs drop from Phaemon. You're going to get Hellhounds and Inugamis drop while you're in there, which is also going to be nice if you've managed to get a Bella, because you can go ahead and get your Bella skill ups. So that's really it, though. That's the process. Pop your unknown scrolls. If you want to start with 1 stars, again, it's your call. But I just wanted to talk about the process of turning 2 stars into 3 stars, into 4 stars, into 5 stars, and then using that food to 6-star your champs. It's very grindy, part of the game, but it's going to save you so much heartache later on when you find out. Someone told me the other day they fed a Wind Joker because they didn't know he was good, and that's pain, because I think I played for like 1.5 years before I pulled my first Lucian. And I played longer than that before I pulled my first Galleon in my original account. So there's no telling how long it's going to be before they see another Lucian, you know what I mean? It's really a bummer. And unfortunately, it's a lesson that a lot of players have to learn early on. It's a very painful lesson. But if you haven't made the mistake yet, hopefully this video can keep you from making that mistake. Just keep a copy of everyone, okay? That's the best rule of thumb. And then start low. Start at 1 or 2 star and just turn your food into 5-star food and use that to 6-star the champs that you're working on, okay? Magic Knight can be your farmer. They're gonna give you runes for her, 6-star. It's Phaemon Hill. You've got everything you need already. The game sets you up to be able to do this. And again, hopefully it saves y'all making the mistake. So that's it. I'm gonna get out of here. I hope it was helpful. If you got any other tips that you wanna drop below, go for it. I would appreciate it. I'm sure other people would as well. So that's it. We're getting out of here. Later, guys.